they like to compare themselves to big brands when they start. So today we're going to talk about how small businesses win with authenticity, because it is super important that they show up like themselves. And so today we're going to compare it to a Starbucks versus a small coffee shop. So this is going to be super fun, and I'm going to actually give you an exact comparison because we have worked with a coffee shop and they got amazing results, so I can't wait to dig in there. So first off is you are not Starbucks and that's your superpower. So I have a question for y'all. When you go, have you ever dealt with a client or dealt with someone, or maybe even just with friends having a conversation, and they're comparing themselves to a business or a brand that may be like they're counting themselves out because they're not at that level yet? Have y'all ever experienced that? What's kind of been the conversation?
I think they get really hard on themselves, and so they're like, well, I don't want to try if I'm not there yet, but
yeah.
I know a lot of people's success is actually more from connections. If anything, it's not really about that, it's more about who you know.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of times in conversations that I've had is they think, oh, my content sucks, because they see the cinematic or the overly edited videos that these followings, like Starbucks has 17.5 million followers on Starbucks. You know what they also have? They have money for ads. You know what else they have? They have a huge marketing budget that they can put any video out, put so much money behind it, and it will be pushed out, right? And so they're able to make those connections because they have that following, they have that strong brand. But but stop comparing yourselves to the big guys and stop thinking that you have to look legit, because people invest in people. People support people, especially in small communities. And we all know this, being in New Braunfels. Nothing, like the New Braunfels Facebook groups are the best Facebook groups. Small businesses support small businesses. New Braunfels supports New Braunfels. And that's what you have to think about when you're growing your company. They are supporting you. They're not supporting a corporate or a headquarter company. They want to know who they're working with. And so as a small business, that is your superpower, is that you're not a big business. You're not a big brand. And so your face, your story, and your personality are your best marketing tools. And I think that's important too, because we have some clients that are like, I don't want to be on camera, right? Which by the time they hire us, they already know they're going to be on camera. But then they're uncomfortable. They don't know if they like it. We got a text from one of our clients a couple weeks ago, and she basically said one of the major wins that we've helped her with is just her confidence and being able to show up online. Because before, she didn't want to show up online. But when people scroll and they see you constantly, they start saying, I'm going to stop because I see you. And so it's so important to see your face, because if they see graphics, when they're scrolling, they don't know that graphic's yours, right? And so that's why it's so important to show your face and be authentic. So this is a little how big brands show up online. Again, we're kind of comparing Starbucks here. Starbucks, don't sue me. Professional, polished, and predictable. So if you look at this content, it's like all the drinks. There's no human being. I mean, there's like some fingers and some hands, right? But there's like no connection. Here, there's a couple of people, but tell me this doesn't look like AI, like just by screenshotting it, right? Or, I mean, that looks natural, but I don't know. So the connection really isn't there, but this whole brand is very polished, very pretty, and they focus on global campaigns, right? They focus on reaching everybody. And when you focus on reaching everybody, you a lot of times lose your touch. For example, I used to tell myself, I'm not Walmart. I'm not for everybody. And in the beginning of my journey, I wanted to reach everybody. I wanted to be like, I want 1 million clients. I want all of these people. I want all this success. And as I go on, I'm like, you're fired. You're not my ideal client, right? And so I don't want to work with everybody. I am not Walmart, and I'm not always going to make you happy, and you're not going to get your burger your way, right? And so that's what, when you post online, you have to show up as you, because it not only will bring connection to you, it will also give you the clients that you want to work with, right? You know, we show up as the social party online. people are gonna hire us because they wanna work with us, they love our brand, and they're gonna hire another company because they love their brand. That's completely opposite from us, right? So you go and you find who you're attracted to. Starbucks wins a lot because of conveniency, right? And so just like Walmart's everywhere. Starbucks is there's probably thousands and millions more. I don't know the statistics on that, but so many more Starbucks in the world, and they're everywhere. They're in the airports, they're in the hotels, and all the things. So for Starbucks, they win because of convenience a lot. It's easy, it's fast, all those things. And when you're a small business, you don't have the convenience, right? They're not in everywhere. And so you have to stop comparing yourself when you're not on the same level as them. But again, you're being you is your superpower. So why people support Starbucks? A couple reasons. They might actually like the coffee, right? I think Rachel does. Rachel, you like their coffee?
I do.
Right.
I like their seasonal drinks that are really sweet.
Yeah, I like their apple drinks. They're my favorite. And I wish more local had apple drinks because I would totally go local. But when winter comes and they have the apple drinks, I'm like, I'm sorry, I need the apple drinks. But consumers admit that it's just easy and they're everywhere. When you go look it up online, why do people go to Starbucks? It's because it's easy. They go for convenience, not really connection. However, when you have these Starbucks that you go to every day, you may have that connection because they start knowing your name, stuff like that. And I'm saying that because that's how Rachel feels, but she's like the only one on my post of like 100 comments that actually said that. So convenience, not connection. And they win because of location and habit and not loyalty. And I think it's also habit as well, because it's just a thing. A lot of people go and get coffee every single morning, drop $7, it's on its way, it's convenient, and it just becomes a habit. People aren't loyal to Starbucks, they're loyal to convenience, but it's not always about the coffee. So so the opportunity for small businesses, a couple things, is you can't be everywhere, but you can be real and you can be you. So you may not be able to out-market Starbucks, but you may not be able to out-market or out-budget Starbucks, but you can out-connect them, which means sharing your story, sharing why you started this business, sharing your community, the way you support them, all the things. You can create loyal customers who choose you because they feel seen, known, and valued. So last year when I did the coffee shop I'm about to talk about, we did a video, and y'all might have seen it. It was kind of a trending one, and they were making the coffee, and they're like, "Oh, you're just baristas," and then it popped up like, "Oh, I had the baby, I got the job," like all these things, because you build that connection with those small businesses. They get to know you, and then they ask you, just like we were talking about networking earlier, right? And you stay up to date. So it's more, you're not just a barista, you become their friend, right? And so you were able to make them feel seen, known, and valued. So there's a little bit of studies and facts, because I'm gonna hit you with those. 88% of consumers say authenticity is important when deciding which brands to support. 62% of people trust small local businesses more than large corporations. 63% try to buy from local companies when they can. 86% believe small businesses have a positive impact versus 29% for big corporations. Small businesses already have the edge, you just have to show it. So this proves right here that every small business has the chance to be successful, but you have to show up and you have to have connection. So a couple of things with the science behind it is people crave human connection online. I was actually, Sarah and I went to Napa for one of our clients, and we were in a room with Zach Cass, which is one of the creators and geniuses behind ChatGPT. And he was the keynote speaker. And something that he said that really stuck with me is how he was sharing the story how this lady had breast cancer, and she went to several different doctors, and each doctor said the same thing. We're gonna do this device, we're gonna do this, like this is how we're gonna heal you, but she chose the one she connected with, right? So as we get more into AI, there's a lot of things that people can do on their own, right? We may have the same exact process, same exact system, but people are going to choose who they work with because they have that connection. So authentic content builds trust, loyalty, and repeat buyers. You don't need a $10,000 recording crew. You just need storytelling and consistency. And that's why a lot of people, when they compare themselves to Starbucks and they see their content and it's the highest quality content, right? That's because Starbucks can afford the highest quality content. So you're stopping yourself because you can't afford that. At the same time, you could have surpassed and had a 10 million viewed video and so many sales because you posted a video that was unedited, raw, and just you. And that is the real, TikTok really came in and helped with that. Before TikTok, it was very like Instagram. I called it the yacht content, where you were on a yacht, you were a nobody. Then TikTok came in and made the nobodies somebody, and it changed everything for us. It became people were winning who were different, right? And so now social media is becoming less very like yacht content and more let me get to know you. And then research shows relationship marketing increases long-term retention, and I think we all know that here based on our clients that we are the closest to, we stay with them, right? So we did content last year. This is when I was by myself before I had a team with Wicked Voodoo Espresso. They are located in New Braunfels, and their content wasn't just about selling coffee, it was about sharing their vibe. Wicked Voodoo Coffee is, which I have to say, when I first heard Wicked Voodoo, I was like, all right, what kind of voodoo am I getting into? But they are definitely nothing like what you think that is. They are the most caring, supporting, community lifting people that I have really ever met. It's Ken and Laurel Winslow. And we told their story and their passion and their energy. So their story is, and just a little snippet of it, and their story is pinned on their Instagram story, or their Instagram, so you can go look and fact check me, because I'm not sure about the actual, I think it's El Salvador. Their beans come from El Salvador. And the reason why they get their beans from there is because their family dealt with breast cancer, dealt with different types of cancer, and they have loss in their family because of cancer. So they wanted to support a community that they could help build schools so you can educate these kids to come up and become doctors and become the catalyst for cancer, and so that's kind of like their story behind it. So it's not just a coffee shop, it's a place that is giving back to help people get educated, become doctors, and grow. So that is a story there. And when we told the story, you could see all these comments about what people said, like, this is amazing, I'm so proud, I love y'all, your story, your ancestors, and the push you make every day to achieve your goals. I mean, it blew up. And before this, they didn't even do social media, but post every now and then, and they had already opened it for years. And when they told their story, she actually texted me this, or sent it on a Facebook message, and said, I just watched them again, they are so good. You captured who we are. I'm emotional because no one has ever told our story like this. And that is a comment that we actually get often. Rachel, you've heard that many times, right? Keelan, have you heard that yet? Yeah. Oh, just last week, the Higgies, yes. So it's just when our clients hear their stories, it also reminds them why they're here. Because as small business owners, sometimes we get lost in the chaos and everything that's going on. You have to remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing. So it's, and then also I just wanted to put a plug because I'm talking about them. You can go buy their beans online at wickedvoodooespresso.com and support their El Salvador beans. So we can build schools. Okay.
They have an actual location.
Yes, if you're in New Braunfels, they have, in San Antonio and Canyon Lake, so, which is really awesome. What happened when I asked about Starbucks? So I don't know if y'all saw it, but I asked about Starbucks, and I was surprised. This isn't even half the comments that I got about. I said no debate. I'm not trying.
Now.
Is yours there?
No.
Oh, because you were the nice one. We don't. No, I'm just kidding. So no, there's some nice ones on here. I mixed it up, but there was tons of comments. I said, what do you like and what do you dislike about Starbucks? Like, why do you support them and why don't you? And so we had tons of comments. Majority of the comments said I go for convenience, but if there was like a small coffee shop, I would support them first, right? And so lots of comments that you can read. Someone said, their coffee is gross, but accessible, right? So even though the coffee is gross, they still go just because it's easy. And that says a lot right there. It's not my favorite and it's overpriced, but it's easily accessible if I need a quick drink. Again, someone said, let's see, I go for one thing when I'm craving it or I need energy. Also on my birthday because they give you a free drink. Right, so like just all the comments goes to showing that it's convenient. There were a couple of comments saying that they like the coffee and that they had the connection, like Rachel.
Okay, the difference is mine doesn't have a drive-through, so I do have to go in to talk to them in person.
Yeah.
So that's probably the difference between mine.
Yeah. So lots of different comments, but all almost the same thing. One of the other things that came up, and I just like to kind of put a little emphasis on this, is a lot of people also commented that they don't like when businesses make a political stance, right? And so that's why with our clients, we always want to make sure that if they want to do that, that's fine, but they have to know that affects their brand in a whole. Business is business, politics is politics. If you mix that together, it could make you or break you or give you, I don't know what it's going to do, but just make sure that you know that people are watching and they know. And when you make donations, when you do those things, just know that you're who you're supporting and how that's going to affect your business. So a couple of facts is, do you need to look like a big brand? No, because people crave real and not perfection. What if you don't have a big budget? Well, you don't need one. You just need to learn how to storytell, which that's what we do here. Will people still compare me to big brands? Yes. Yes, they will. Especially, and you know, it's the people that you've never met before that will actually be your biggest supporters, and it may be like your closest friends and family who will compare, right? And so you just push through that and continue to highlight your authenticity. Does authenticity mean sharing your whole life, right? Because some people are like, I don't want to share my whole life. Like, I'm going to have to trauma bond with people to actually make it online. No, you don't have to do that. You just have to share the real parts that connect to your mission. And how do you know it's working? Which is one of the biggest questions. Like, I'm sharing this, but how is it working? Number one, are you getting followers? Are you getting Instagram comments? If you look on your analytics, do you see that your website views have gone up? That's a huge thing. If your website views have gone up since you started social media, you're doing great. And if you haven't got a sell on your website, you have a website problem. So no longer a social media problem. So you have to look at those analytics to see if you're winning. And sometimes winning is going to be the analytics and seeing that growth, and it may not be revenue month one, but by month 3, it could be major revenue. When I started my fitness business, I had a brand that was, I launched it. I had 40 people sign up month 1. 3 months later, I had 18 people left, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then on the way to work, I had 75 people sign up the week of Thanksgiving. Within 30 days, I had 1,500 people all around the world. If I would have given up because I felt like it wasn't working just because I was getting the analytics, but I wasn't getting the sell, because a lot of people think that, great, my analytics are growing, but where's the money? Keep going, keep showing up, because it's literally our brand saying you are only one post away from your next big win, and you have to keep going. How do you show up as you, right? And this is something that a lot of people struggle with, is share your why and your people, right? Like, share who you are, share your story, and just like we did with Wicked Voodoo, post behind the scenes moments. People love that shit. And I do too. Like, just, they want to see what you're doing throughout the day. And talk about your values and your community. Support the community. I literally cannot stand it when people want people to support when people want to support, like you're like, buy from me, but then you're not out there pouring into the community, right? You know, being in social media, sometimes we get a lot of stuff for free. I mean, let's be real. You know, we can exchange services, all the things, right? Okay, so we are able to do that. But when I go out to my clients, I buy from them. You know, when Shevin created the axe board, he gifted that us, but I turned around and bought the whole stand from him, right? Artitude, I went and spent $100 there. Like, some of our clients have $1 million homes. I'm not there yet, right? So it's those things that we do. And do they ask me to buy from them? No. But I do it because they're supporting us. And so we have to support the community that we're in. And so support them, share them, right? For instance, when you make content for them, share their content on your personal pages. Show them, yeah.
Sharing it's free.
Yes. And so be relatable and not robotic, right? The worst content you can make is when you are trying to talk and you are coming off selling and not who you really are, right? Just a minute ago I said shit and I was like, shit. But it's who I am, right? If a client isn't okay with that I love Jesus and I cuss a little, they're probably not my ideal client. And so be relatable and not robotic. And then, so you don't have to out Starbucks to win. Starbucks has reach, you have relationships, and relationships are everything. Some relationships, they will get you by, some relationships will get you to the next level. And so relationships are everything. They sell convenience and you sell connection. And your story is your strategy. And the last one, I can't see. What did I say? Your realness is your revenue, right? So you being you and sharing that is what your revenue is. So if you want to tell your story online, that's what we do here at the Social Party. We help small businesses show up online as themselves and win through authenticity. And so if you want your story to stand out and not blend in, call me. So does anyone have any questions? Yeah. So do y'all have any feedback? Have y'all experienced this? And yeah.
I mean, like, so I shot with one of, you don't want me to say names?
No.
Okay, with one of our builders.
Unless it's a positive.
Yes. It's
Okay,
positive.
okay, yes.
I shot with the Hagees and we went to a casita they built and I met the owners of there and she has a small business and I noticed that she was posting a lot online and now I feel like I'm friends with her and now I go see her to support her business. It's the Fizzy Flamingo, which was the Tipsy Tuber, and now I will comment on the new Braunfels local like, oh my god, you need to check out this business. So it's almost like a domino effect.
Yeah.
When you start posting online a lot, it's building all those connections.
Yeah, and she has followed all of us on social
Exactly.
media. And that was from, what, a 30-minute filming session with her? Yeah, that's awesome. All right. All right, that was good. I think we